What is up, awesome people of the internet? Guys, welcome to another edition of Quita in the Mornings. My name is Quita, we in the mornings, and we talking about some women's hoops. I do have a different look for the live stream, and guys, as we go through, let me know what you all think. Because I'm really trying to make this into a actual show and actually give it the vibe of a show. So your feedback is super helpful. Again, thank you very much. Okay, so today we have our theme of the day where we are talking about things that are officially official. All right, and first up, we talk about Kelsey Plum. Kelsey Plum, guys, because Kelsey Plum has finished her third edition of Dog Class, and I just want to go through it because I haven't heard very much talk about Dog Class and whatnot. And so we're gonna talk through Dog Class, what it's all about, and what's going on that front when it comes to Kelsey Plum, because she's doing something very special. Because here's the deal, Kelsey Plum, she was someone who walked off the court after her final game in college in 2017, and she was a legend, right? We all know what she did at Washington. And then she gets drafted as the number 1 overall pick in the WNBA draft. And yet, with all of the success in college, the all-time at the time she was someone who was at the top of the top when it comes to the all-time leading scoring record in the NCAA. She was someone who accomplished a whole bunch of stuff. Got the number 1 pick, and yet she still felt kind of unprepared for the WNBA. Unprepared for what came next. Emotionally, mentally, physically, all that good stuff. And so her first year or so in the WNBA, it really was a wake-up call for her, right? She didn't really have any rest time between college and the WNBA. She had no real time to prep and figure out what happens next. And she just went straight to San Antonio, which was where the Silver Stars were located, and then eventually they moved to the Las Vegas Aces, they moved to Las Vegas, became the Aces. Now we have Kelsey Plum with the LA Sparks, but it stands to reason when she first came into the WNBA, she did not feel prepared for what was to come. And then she got she got her welcome to the WNBA moments during a WNBA game, and she was like, you know what? Eventually, she was like, hey, we need to figure out something on the women's side, right? There was nothing on the women's side that really helped to get players ready for the WNBA. And that was kind of like the seed of Dog Class, which is a part mentorship, part boot camp, part literal dogs camp, like literal actual dogs. That's probably my favorite part about dog class is to see the social media posts after it's over, talking about with the dogs. I think that's fun. I think that's really fun to do dog yoga. That seems kind of like, I don't do yoga, but I don't know. The dogs part seems pretty awesome. This was Kelsey Plum's mission to really change the game of women's basketball. This is a one-of-a-kind mentorship that I don't think is a thing anywhere else. This is created in partnership with Kelsey Plum and Under Armour, which is the brand that she is signed to. Under Armour also does a couple of other things as well. Steph Curry has a program with Under Armour, and they have another program that's that focuses on both boys and girls. But this program, Dog Class, is specifically for women's college basketball players that want to make that eventual leap to the pros. Initially, it was very much so players who were close to going to the WNBA. As we see now, there's way more freshmen that are included in Dog Class. This is the 3rd year of Dog Class. As I said, it's part mentorship, part boot camp, part really actual dogs. It's an elite invite-only weekend that takes place, I believe, in Florida. And it's not just about hooping. right? It's not just about that. It's about becoming ready for the eventual next step. Each year, Kelsey Plum selects a couple of the top guards that she sees in the NCAA and leads them through a extensive program. It's a mix of on-court development with drills, footwork, scrimmages, game scenario breakdowns. Off the court, it's a focus on nutrition, financial literacy, media training, branding, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. For the mental side of things, she at least initially she had a mental coach that came in. Dogs, like there's a whole bunch of stuff that she focuses on with these players. And she didn't start this thing to just flex and be like, oh, you know what, I got this awesome program, I have this great program that players can participate in, awesome me. No, she did it because she needed to give back. She wanted to give back to young players and sort of give them what she did not have. The WNBA is a you make it or you don't make it type of league. It is what it is. There is no real sympathy for players who make it to the WNBA but don't get to stay because they're not good enough or they're not ready or whatever. And this is Kelsey Plum's sort of attempt to try to level the playing field and give players a sort of leg up. All right. And so here's what she said. This is what she said actually in 2023, or not 2020. 2023 actually, when this first became a thing. She said, I didn't have a ton of resources to understand what it takes to really become a good college player and then a really good pro player. It took me 4 or 5 years to figure that out, and I almost died in the process. I can help them bridge the gap so that they don't have to fail how I failed. As I said, it really is about giving back to these players. It gives them a space where they can be vulnerable, where they can ask questions that players coming into the WNBA eventually will need to know. Getting the answers that they need, building relationships. Like this is a really needed thing for women's basketball players, right? She also said this is a big gap. In the NBA, a massive conglomerate of people help these young men transition from high school to college, then to the pros. They're weaned on their way, and so many people and money are invested. They have nothing like that on the women's side at all, which is why she created Dog Class. All right. This is all about, players getting that dog in them, right? And that's what Kelsey Plum has, and she's trying to get other guards. Like this is not a thing for non-guards. This is specifically for guards. Tall and short alike. And Kelsey just wants to instill in them the mindset that like, hey, every hooper that walks in here, they're going to understand and be well prepared for the WNBA. Now this is just like a weekend, but it's still pretty awesome. There is that infrastructure on the men's side, but on the women's side, it just didn't really exist. Now it does for women guards. That now it does. For post players, I mean, you're out of luck, but but for guards, you have the opportunity to go to Dog Class. Okay. And so, yeah, I just wanted to talk about that real quick. Dog Class is slowly becoming like that camp that players really do want to get invited to. It is kind of like a stamp of approval, letting people know that, hey, you have arrived and you are here and ready for the next level. So, this past week, we saw Dog Class happen. And I just want to walk through some of the players who were participating in the 2025 Dog Class. And guys, as we go through this, if y'all could please do me a huge favor and hit that like button, that really does help the channel a lot. This is free. It's a free thing to do. Hit that like button. It costs you nothing, but I would greatly appreciate it, guys. Fun fact, guys. My birthday is this week, and we're gonna have a special birthday edition of the stream. But anyway, what do y'all think about what Kelsey Plum is doing? We're gonna go through the names that are of players who are participating in dog class for 2020, who had participated in dog class for 2025. Yeah. Anyway, because every year, she picks a list of players to join her. And this 2025 roster, it was pretty stacked. It featured, national champions, All-Americans, future pros, of course, and a freshman group, y'all, that could give the WNBA a run for its money in just a couple of years. So let's break down the players who are who participated in dog class. All right, and we start with KK Arnold, who is the dog that has returned. A double G that has returned. KK Arnold of UConn. Not only did she participate in dog class, y'all, she was crowned the top dog. Okay? She was named the top dog of the entire camp. Not just for her game, but for her energy, her attitude, her leadership, all that good stuff. KK Arnold, I am a huge fan of. I think she has a very, very bright future. This year, she had a quieter of sorts sophomore year behind the play of AZ Foot and Kaylin Chen and whatnot, and of course Paige. And so she came into camp locked and loaded, and she did her thing. She's headed into her junior year at UConn, and she's going to have a fantastic year. Like we've seen KK rock out, and do amazing at UConn. And I think this camp may have lit an additional fuse for KK. Okay, she was somebody who was great here's what specifically Kelsey Plum said about KK. She said, this person from start to finish was unbelievable. Attitude, energy, and the way she made an impact. Yes, KK. I love it. I love to see it. I'm a big fan of KK. I think she has a very bright future ahead of her. Like she doesn't do anything stupid, and she gives elite effort on offense and defense just about all the time. I absolutely love watching her play. Absolutely love it. Let's give KK a little bit more love. Steph Love says KK is definitely going to make some noise next season alongside AZ and Strong. I completely agree. And Georgia Amore was participating in dog class as well. This is the third time that she is in dog class. It's only been around 3 times, and so far she's been in every single year. This was someone who played at Virginia Tech initially, then went to Kentucky. Now has been the 6th pick in the WNBA draft, heading to the Washington Mystics. And Georgia Amore, she is obsessed with growth. She wants growth in her game. She's someone who is very undersized, but she is trying to make sure that she's not underprepared. And she has been participating in Kelsey Plum's dog class, making sure that not just her game is good, but also her mindset, her overall approach. And with the 2025 draft being over and her getting ready to actually start to play with in the WNBA, I think going to dog classes is a great step. It is a great step. Okay. W. Bazil says, why is Amore in dog class back in dog class? Was she held back? That's hilarious. But players can be welcomed back into dog class. This is not like a one-time thing. There's a notable amount of freshmen who are in dog class this year. We should expect them to be in dog class for the next three years. Okay. This is one of those things where it's not like a one and done type of thing. If Kelsey Plum thinks you're really, really good and she wants to mentor you, she will invite you again and again and again and again. Okay. We also had Cheyenne Sellers from Maryland, the 17th pick in the WNBA draft, who participated in dog class as well. And Cheyenne Sellers is great. We all know what she could do on the court, her leadership, her on the court offensive skills. One thing that she's just been dealing with is some knee issues, injuries, but she did participate in dog class, and she's just trying to do whatever she can to ensure not only does she make a roster, which I think for sure is happening, but that she actually stays in a WNBA. Like that's why this dog class is very, very important, because it really is supposed to help players not just make it, but stay when they make it. And we do have 2 players who were supposed to be involved in this, but could not end up making it. Both AZ Fudd and Tessa Johnson were invited. AZ Fudd, of course, from UConn. Tessa, of course, from South Carolina. They did not attend, but they were invited to dog class. I just wanted to mention that. AZ was a part of the inaugural dog class in 2023. And she was invited, but I believe she's on like injury rehab or something like that, and so she was not able to participate. I'm not exactly sure why Tessa did not participate, but they were both invited. Okay, so that's something to note. Also, guys, we had a contingent of freshmen who I'm very excited about for the future. We got Jelani Cambridge from Ohio State, who was one of the most electrifying freshmen in the country. She got quickness. She got handles. She got a little bit of everything. She showed flashes of brilliance for Ohio State, and I love the fact that she is in dog class. We also have Michaela Blakes from Vandy, and Vandy just got a little bit better. I'm just saying. Vandy is building something special, and Michaela Blakes, in a lot of ways, is the cornerstone of what Shea Ralph is trying to build. She has a great frame. She has a great shot. She is someone who attacks the basket with a vengeance and has shown that in the SEC, she has that dog in her. Several elite games this past year for Michaela Blakes. And again, I'm just so excited to continue to see the growth that she will have in her game. All right, next up we got Kaylee Heckel from USC. Well, now has transferred, but previously was with USC this past year. Heckel is another guard who I just really think has a lot of potential. She is someone who can be shifty at times. Someone who can knock down shots. She did transfer, so that's that. But she really does have a great future ahead. Of course, not as flashy as some of the other freshmen that participated in dog class, but someone who does has a great basketball IQ, and someone who will do well for years and years to come. We also have Silas Swords as the final freshman who participated in dog class. Silas Swords, if y'all don't remember her, I don't know what's going on. She was fantastic. She plays at Michigan. She's a Canadian baller, and she is someone who is just a straight up dog. Get into the basket, knocking down big shots. Silas Swords is elite already. One of the most versatile guards in the Big Ten. Someone who is just fun to watch. And I am excited about that. Okay. Ty Thrill says, we got 539 people watching. We need more likes. Yes, hit that like button. It really does help the channel out a whole lot, and it costs you nothing. Okay, it costs you nothing. Katie, thanks so much for the super chat. Says, could you explain how the draft works for those playing overseas? Do they have to declare when do they become eligible? How does draft and stash work? First of all, thank you for the super chat. Second of all, I think that actually requires a separate stream to really dive into it. But there is a lower age requirement for international players than WNBA players. All right. WNBA players is, I believe you have to be 22 or have graduated from college. For international, I believe it's 19 you have to be. But I would do a separate stream about that. I'll do a separate stream where I talk about that. But I believe it's 19 for international players, so that's why you have young players entering the WNBA draft. And they declare by saying, hey, they want to play in a WNBA. Or I have a separate stream. Where I actually dive through it. A draft and stash is a legit method. But yeah, anyway. Brother, thank you so much for the super chat. Says, why is no one talking about London Jones transferring to Crosstown USC? She's a 3-point bucket, and that's huge. With the number one Jazz Davidson inbound, Trojan Nation is reloading. Well, didn't she just transfer yesterday? Maybe that's why no one's talking about it. She literally just transferred. At least I saw it yesterday. I don't think I'm behind. I saw it yesterday that she transferred. I mean, that she has transferred to USC. So like, I mean, it just happened. So like, I think that's probably why. That's probably why, is because it just happened. But I'm not talking about her in this stream, but I will talk about her tomorrow. I have a full stream ahead. But again, thank you so much for that super chat. But yeah, that's what I think. That's why. So thank you, Katie. Thank you, brother DJ. Thank you, Shamika, for the super chat. I don't know. I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I am not sure. But again, that was a great question about the about international players, Katie, and I will make a separate stream about that. Okay? Thank you. Thank you for the super chat. Appreciate it. Anyway, we also have other players who participated in this year's dog class as well. I just want to go through them real quick. One, we have Zoe Brooks, who is sort of like a combo guard who can kind of do a little bit of everything. She plays at NC State. I've enjoyed watching her play. I think next year we'll see an even bigger leap for her offensively and defensively, because in a lot of ways she really will be the leader of this NC State team. We also had Harmony Turner participate as well. Harmony Turner from Harvard, the 34th pick in the WNBA draft. She was the mid-major player of the year. She's been cooking the Ivy League for years, and she's finally getting her shot in the WNBA. And I love that she's participating in dog class, because again, that additional help, that additional mentorship, that additional guidance is hopefully going to help her actually make a WNBA roster, if not this year, or eventually. All right. We also had Ashlyn Jackson participate as well. She's from Duke. She is someone who can do both offense, defense, and she got a shot. So, she is participating in dog class. I believe this is our first year in dog class. And we also have Gianna Neepkins from Utah, but she just transferred to Texas. So welcome to Texas for Gianna. But she is someone who seemed to be a very late add to dog class. I didn't see her on the promotional material before dog class happened, but as they were releasing the photos and whatnot, I saw her on there. So I was like, oh, okay. She is a big guard who can get to the bucket at will and is a sharpshooter as well. Again, she was at Utah. Now she is at Texas. All right. So this dog class mattered, all right, because it featured young guns, future draft picks, returning vets to college, and current draft picks in the WNBA. And the competition was high. The energy, I'm sure, even higher. And with all that, KK Arnold, as I said earlier, proves that she is not just vibes. She has proved that she is the top dog as well. This is where dog class is where college guards learn how to thrive as pros, not just with the ball, but with everything that comes with it. Media, money, identity, pressure, all that stuff is why dog class is so important. And I just love it. And that's why I wanted to specifically talk about it, because I don't see that many people talking about dog class. Like I think for the future of the game, dog class is crazy important for these college players who participate in. And I love the fact that that Kelsey Plum is doing this. So again, shout out to Kelsey Plum. I think this is great. Formerly of the Las Vegas Aces, now with the LA Sparks. I see it. I had this brain fart. I was like, what? Where is she? Where is she at now? anyway, shout out to her for that. Shout out to her. Next up, real quick, let's talk about some portal talk. Because Aaliyah Del Rosario is headed to Vandy. Again, I love what Shea Ralph is doing. And yeah, Aaliyah Del Rosario is heading off to Vandy. She is a former 5-star recruit, former McDonald's All-American, and number 7 player in the 2023 class. She has officially left LSU and is going to Vandy. And this is a good move for her. This is a good move for all parties involved. The reason why is because she's had, 2 somewhat underwhelming, well, definitely 1 underwhelming season in Baton Rouge this past season. And this move could possibly finally unlock what made Aaliyah Del Rosario such a highly touted draft prospect in the first place. Because here's the deal. Aaliyah Del Rosario, in my opinion, just never developed. She never developed into the player that she really needed to be, into the center that she needed to be in college. There were sparks of like, oh, okay, you got this. Oh, okay, this is exciting. And then there were other times it's just like, man, what is going on? What is going on? And then there were times where she didn't even play. And it was like, okay, where is Aaliyah Del Rosario? You literally have this very, very tall girl on the bench, and like, what's going on in that front? So there was a whole bunch of stuff. First, Connie, thank you so much for becoming a member of the channel. Salute to you. Thank you so much for your continued support. Thank you. I appreciate y'all welcoming Connie. I appreciate y'all. Thank you so much for welcoming other channel members, making them feel welcome. Appreciate it. But Aaliyah Del Rosario never developed. And I think ultimately this is why it's a good thing that she's leaving. As a freshman, I thought she was pretty solid, 4.7 points a game, 3.5 rebounds a game in limited minutes. But in year 2, she got buried in the rotation. And it seemed like she never convinced Kim Mulkey in practice that she deserved more minutes because we just didn't see it. In year 2, her role shrank, where she played just about 6 minutes a game. And she barely scored any points. Still, there were some flashes of really good stuff, right? Her ability to block, to block. There were times where sporadic moments where she would look good and have some really good defensive instincts. But those times did not happen often enough to actually get significant time in a game. And remember, guys, she's tall. She's 6'6". And so maybe it's just that she needed to go somewhere else. Maybe she just was not in the right system for her. Maybe the right coach for her. And now she will have that opportunity. Now she'll have the opportunity, likely, to start, to play more minutes, and to grow. And to me, that's the reason why it makes sense that Vandy is her choice. Because Vandy is a place that is growing, right? Shea Ralph is one of my favorite up-and-coming coaches. I think she is fan-freaking-tastic. And she has been a place where really good players can go, right? Vandy was a good squad last year. A very, very good squad. However, Vandy ranked 15 out of 16 SEC teams in rebounding. They were almost dead last in rebounding last year. They're getting severely outmuscled in the paint. No player on Vandy's roster had more than 21 blocks all year. This is a team that was in serious need of a big woman. And they got that. They have that. Shea Ralph said, we recruit the right players for our programs. We just haven't been able to get that size here yet. And now they have it. And now she's got something that she needs to prove. Was LSU just a blip in her future career, or where she's gonna go on and have a lot of success, or is she just not that type of player who can dominate in college at that center position? This is one of those make it or break it type of moments, where she has a clearer path, not a absolute easy path to that starting role, but she has a clearer path to that role, because Vandy is a very talented team when it comes to wings and guards, but you don't have that real sort of core post player. If Aaliyah Del Rosario buys in, if she can actually develop, she could be in for two of the best seasons of her career, coming forward. And so I can't wait to see it. Bottom line, this is a win-win for everybody. Aaliyah Del Rosario gets a new start with a team that might be a better fit for her, and this Vandy team really does need more rebounding and more defense from that center role. All right. Okay. Next up, let's move on to the next topic, which is Kiyomi McMiller, who is headed to Penn State. And this might be a possible Hail Mary. That might just work. It might just work. Okay, guys, here's the deal. Kiyomi McMiller, it was revealed over the weekend that she was going to Penn State, and then it seemed like she was trying, either her or whoever was using her social media was trying to walk that back and make a big announcement or whatever on this past Monday. The announcement happened, and what we knew before, we now know again. So this is officially official. Kiyomi McMiller is going to Penn State. After a roller coaster freshman year at Rutgers that featured some jaw-dropping highlights for sure, but also featured some off-court drama, McMiller is headed to Penn State. And the reason why I said that this is a Hail Mary of sorts, because I kind of think it is. Why? Because the Penn State Lady Lions were horrible this past year. They were one, I believe they were 1 of 17 in the Big Ten. Like they were bad. And this is a team that lost the majority of their roster. The majority of Penn State's roster is gone. They only return 2 players. That's it. They return 2 players from last year. This is a team that needed something. Like they needed something, and now they finally have something. They got somebody to go to their school, and we'll ultimately see what happens from here. But yeah, this is kind of wild. I would say this is kind of like a wild thing that I didn't expect her to pick Penn State. Like Penn State was not on my radar at all for her to choose. However, somebody got to go to Penn State. And it seems like that somebody is Kiyomi McMiller. Now, guys, a reminder, I talked about this yesterday, but 9 players on Penn State's roster has entered the transfer portal. 9 players entered the transfer portal. Again, this team was 1 in 17 last year. That means 1 win, 17 losses in Big Ten play. Like, they were trash. Trash. And with barely anybody on the roster left, they needed this program was basically hanging on by a thread. They needed a jolt of electricity to their program and a reason for somebody to show up next year. And they got that. They got that in getting Keomi McMiller because she is a very, very talented player, right? This past year, she averaged 18.7 points a game, 4.7 rebounds a game, 3 assists a game. She was a fantastic freshman for Rutgers this past year. She was flashy, she was fearless, she was productive, and she earned multiple Big Ten honorable mention. She earned the Big Ten honorable mention award. She also got multiple Freshman of the Week honors as well. She was on the Ann Myers Drysdale midseason watch list, and she's a walking mixtape in a lot of ways. She got some cool handles. She has a flair to her game, an entertainment level to her game that is very, very fun to watch. Her scoring is consistent. She had a couple of 30-point games this past season. And so she has talent. But there was some off-season stuff that, was not great. There were some games that she did not play for Rutgers, not because she was injured, but because of other stuff that was happening. And now she's going to be going somewhere else. And we're going to see what happens from here. Here's what Carolyn Keeger, the head coach for Penn State, said. She said, her game is electric. Her mindset is elite. She's coming to Penn State on a mission. I mean, she kind of is. But it's a risky one of sorts because of just like some of the risky one for both sides, because Keomi McMiller is going to a team that literally lost almost their entire roster. So there's a question mark of what's going on there. Like, why in the world you lose your roster? And it's not like they lost their coach. So it's risky on Keomi's part of going to a team that is not very good. And on Penn State, the question is, some of the off-court stuff, like her not playing in games, and like some of the social stuff, like there's a sort of risk there as well, right? There's a risk there because if y'all don't remember, Keomi McMiller publicly kind of clashed with Rutgers head coach Coquise Washington, right? She even posted on Instagram that she was benched against her will in a game. It was messy. It was not a good look. It was not a good look. Now at Penn State, Keomi is going to have an opportunity to get a reset. She's not walking into a polished system. She's walking into absolute chaos at Penn State. But this is a team that's looking to rebuild. There is no real foundation, no core, no stars, which means this is Keomi McMiller's team. She will have the keys to the offense and will be asked to lead, and she'll have every chance to make Penn State her own. And this is a lot of pressure, sure, but also this is a golden opportunity. Again, similar to talking about the Aaliyah Del Rosario thing, this is a win-win if it works. If it works, this is a win-win for Penn State. Again, bold bet, high volume score. With personality and presence, this is good for them if it works. For Keomi, this is a chance to grow, not just as a player, but as a leader. And basically, this is your team where you can play your game, develop your brand, and elevate to a bigger level, to a more noticeable level. So, yeah. If this works, she's not just Penn State's savior. She is the face of this team. Will we expect to see a huge turnaround in the Lady Lions record next year? No, but hopefully they get a little bit better. Hopefully things take a turn for the better. Again, guys, if y'all could make sure to hit that like button, that really does help the channel out a whole lot. I take a lot of effort into making these streams. Also, I spent a couple of hours yesterday trying to revamp the overall look and feel of this stream. What do y'all think? I got the lower third here. I got the graphic here we go. Here. What do y'all think about the look? What do y'all think? I'm very, very curious. I'm trying to really make this thing look like a show, really make this look awesome. So yeah, let me know. Okay. All right. Let's continue on with the last story of the day, which involves Paige Bueckers, Minnesota. Welcome to Paige Bueckers, Minnesota. Because some athletes get a key to the city, but Paige Bueckers literally just got the whole city for a day. Asterisk mark for a day. Okay, on May the 16th, the day that Paige Bueckers has her WNBA debut, the Hopkins, Minnesota native and UConn legend and newly minted #1 WNBA draft pick will officially get her hometown city named Paige Bueckers, Minnesota for a day. And honestly, guys, I think this is fan-freaking-tastic. Okay? It is awesome to see. This is the council report that says the city of Hopkins would like to honor the accomplishments and wish her the best luck at the professional level by proclaiming May the 16th as Paige Bueckers Day and renaming the city to Paige Bueckers, Minnesota for the day. I love it. And here is actually the city of Hopkins, Minnesota's their actual meeting. And so I just wanted to show this real quick because again, this shows the big impact that Paige Bueckers has. Okay, let's get to it.
Special Projects and Initiatives Manager. And one of my staff recently referred to something I asked her to do as a side quest. And I would call this proclamation a little bit of a side quest, but one we're very excited to have tonight, which is a proclamation honoring the accomplishment of Paige Bueckers and for one day naming the city Paige Bueckers, Minnesota on May 16th. Paige, as many of you know, and I got some great photos from council members who have met her and spent time with her, has made a name for herself as a Hopkins High School basketball player, one of the best to ever do it at the high school level in Minnesota, and moved on to the University of Connecticut after her high school career. She played for the Huskies, and despite many injuries and setbacks, Bueckers has gained a lot of accolades and awards, winning both the Naismith Award and the Wooden Award, and ending her career by leading the school to its 12th national title. The Monday after the title, Mike and I both had the same separate idea. He said, I think we should do a proclamation. I said, David and I are actually already working on it because as a huge basketball fan myself, it's been very excited to see our hometown hero lead her, have an amazing career in college and then become the #1 overall draft pick last night at the 2025 WNBA draft, where she was drafted by the Dallas Wings. She will play her first game of the season against the Minnesota Lynx on May 16th. And we are so excited to honor her accomplishments and wish her the best of luck at the professional level by proclaiming May 16th, that day of her first game, which is also the WNBA season opener, as Paige Bueckers Day here in Hopkins. We also are planning to rename the city for the day as Paige Bueckers, Minnesota. And we really invite everyone in the community to celebrate that day. Join us in watching a WNBA game here in Hopkins. Think Hopkins, our marketing arm, is planning to engage our local business community. So kind of already have that underway to have a big WNBA watch game day here. So for bars that have TVs, having them stream some of the games, having some themed drinks or specials that day. Something even throughout the day, like our coffee shops, maybe having some beverages. So we're really excited to see what our business community comes up with to honor her accomplishments. Tonight, though, I'm lucky to turn this over to someone who knows Paige better than any of us, which is her high school coach, Brian Cosgrove. So invite him to say a few words.
Well, thank you for having me. This is quite an honor for me because I love Hopkins. Hopkins is, I feel like it's part of where I grew up. I have so many of your children and former students here. And just the fact that Paige played at Hopkins and was such a great representative. But the biggest thing about Paige that a lot of people don't know is that she's a wonderful human being. And for as good as she was on the basketball court, she was that type of person as well. And I feel like as a coach, she made me look awful good at something, so. A lot of times we just stayed the heck out of her way. We said, when she was playing for us, there was plan A going into a game. And if that didn't work, it was called plan P. That was get the ball to Paige and get out of the way, right? And so it was very cool to see her go to UConn and meet Coach Ariama, who's like modern day John Wooden. Wonderful man, and the relationship that they had when they won the national championship and they embraced after the end of the game, it brought chills to me and tears to my eyes because they have such a wonderful relationship. And then finally seeing her go on to become a number one overall draft pick, something she had predicted her senior year, actually. Yeah, I mean, it's on camera that she did predict that. So, I feel like this is kind of the icing on the cake, to be Paige Becker's Minnesota and the town that I feel is my home. I'm very moved and honored to be here. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Yeah, I saw that video clip. That was amazing of her example of positive thinking and manifesting your own future. That was amazing to watch. So thank you for joining us today. And with that, would you like me to read the proclamation? Okay. This is a little unique proclamation. A lot of times we have proclamations, but naming the entire city after Paige Beckers is pretty unique. So this is very honored to do this. A proclamation honoring the accomplishments of Paige Beckers. Paige Beckers became known as one of the best Minnesota high school basketball players ever while attending Hopkins High School. And whereas Beckers went on to an illustrious career playing college basketball for the University of Connecticut, becoming a 3-time All-American, being named to the NCAA tournament 4 times, winning both the Naismith and Wooden Awards, and leading the Huskies to their 12th national championship this year on April 6th, which was great to watch. Beckers was a top pick in the 2025 WNBA draft, with the first game of the season scheduled for May 16th. The rest of Minnesota may be torn, but we aren't here in Hopkins. Whereas residents of Hopkins and the entire state of Minnesota are excited to watch the professional career of one of our very own, the city of Hopkins wishes to congratulate Paige Beckers on her success so far and wish her the best of luck as a future WNBA star. And we hope that everyone watches women's sports and watches that game on May 16th. Now, therefore, I, Patrick Hanlon, mayor of the city of Hopkins, in the state of Minnesota, along with my fellow council members, proclaim May 16th, the city of Hopkins to be renamed Paige Beckers, Minnesota, and that it be known as Paige Beckers Day here in Hopkins. Do I have a-
Well, there you have it. There you have it. That I wanted to play the whole thing. I wanted to play the whole thing so y'all really got the feel. Oh, sorry about that. I want to play the whole thing so y'all really got the feel for what this means and how like big this is. Like, but also, guys, remember that Hopkins, Minnesota is not that huge of a place. They have a population of 18,000. Like, it's not a very, I don't consider it a very big city. It's a substantial city, but like not crazy big. But I wanted to talk about this because I just think it's just awesome all around. Like, I just think this is great. It's not every day that your city comes out with one of the best nationally known players when it comes to women's basketball. Like, this does not happen often, right? This is a mix of small town, small city, and elite talent, right? You don't see cities often or ever do this, where they actually name the city for the player. Like, this is not a thing that happens, right? This is not a thing that happens, right? And like that's Paige Becker's that was her jersey in high school, right? This is awesome. This is a recognition of a once in a generation talent for Hopkins, who put her hometown on the map and carried herself with a great grace and poise, right? Paige Beckers, started making noise as a high school phenom at Hopkins High, where she went on to become the number 1 recruit in the legendary 2020 2020 incoming freshman class that included, a lot of talent, right? This was the 2020 class that had some big names in it. From there, she went on to dominate at UConn, winning a National Player of the Year title as a freshman, battling back from major injuries, a couple of them, to ultimately close her college career with a statement national championship win and a 37-3 season. Paige Beckers put Hopkins on the map, right? And that's the kind of resume that, Hopkins is like, you know what? Yeah, we gonna name the whole town after you for a day. We gonna name the entire town after you. This is awesome full circle moment on May the 16th. This isn't just, a day where Paige makes her WNBA debut. This is also a welcome to Paige Becker's Minnesota moment. And guys, now they are playing Minnesota in this game. It's Dallas versus Minnesota, but it's in Dallas. Guys, I wish this game was in Minnesota. Because can you imagine how awesome that could have been if this game was actually in Minnesota? It's not. But that's why they were talking about, the bars and whatnot, making sure that people are really in on this thing and really going to make this thing as big as possible. This is a whole city effort where they're literally getting local businesses involved, where everybody is going to be celebrating Paige Beckers on that day. I think this is great. I think this is absolutely great. And it's even more perfect that Dallas is going against Minnesota on that day. The Minnesota Lynx is a team that Paige Beckers she idolized kind of growing up. Like, she was a huge fan of the Minnesota Lynx. This is a team that she dreamed of playing for. It's kind of poetic in a sense, right? She'll be suiting up against them, but back in her hometown in Hopkins, every bar, every shop, every street will be celebrating her. Local businesses will have themed specials. There will be watch game parties. The city will be buzzing, renamed, rebranded, and rightfully proud of what their hometown hero could do. Paige Beckers, this is not hype. This is about impact. Paige Beckers helped to build a legacy. She of course, she's still building it, but for a small town like Hopkins, Minnesota, a small town that does not have a lot of stuff happen very often. Like, this is them taking a photo of Paige's high school jersey. But like, this is a big moment. And for those who are like, oh, this means nothing and whatnot, this is actually very important. But this is what you get when you have someone come from a small town and stay there. You don't see stuff like this in the city of Chicago because it's just too big, right? You don't see stuff like this in the bigger cities. But for a city that has a population of 18,000, you can see stuff like this. You can have an opportunity to see stuff like this. And I think this is awesome. This is really, really awesome. She's been giving back to her local community in a lot of ways. And, her community has her back, right? They have her back. So what's next? Well, Paige Beckers is looking to make some noise on May the 16th as she officially starts her WNBA career. And when she calls home, she's going to hear all the stories about everything that people did in Paige Becker's Minnesota on May 16th. I love it. I think it's awesome. And I just want to highlight it for one day. For one day, it's not about the money Paige Beckers is going to make as a rookie. It's not about the pressure. It's not about expectations. It is, but also it's not. It's about more than that. On May 16th, it's about home. It's about pride. It's about Paige Beckers, Minnesota. That's the story. Guys, thank y'all so much for rocking with me. This has probably been the most worked on live stream I've had in a while. Like with the graphics, with all the research, with you know, all the stuff. I was really trying my best to make this stream as awesome as I possibly could. But that's the story. That's the story. It is officially official. Paige Beckers, Minnesota. We talked about, you know, some other stuff in today's stream as well. But yeah, there's of course other stuff I could talk about. I will get to it tomorrow. But yeah, what do y'all think overall about Paige Beckers, Minnesota? What do y'all overall think about just the way this stream happened? Like, what are your thoughts? Let me know. Let me know. As always, I am always trying to improve and get better at my craft. Because truly, this I want this to be the number one place to go every single day when it comes to women's basketball. And so, hey, I'm trying to up my game. I mean, I feel like already it is the number one place to go with the best information. However, you know, I want it to look the part, and I also want to like structure in a part where I'm like doing less and doing way more like kind of writing out what I want to say. So yeah, what do y'all think? Let me know. Curious about your thoughts. Always want to get better and better and better and better. Guys, I got to go to work. I will see y'all later. I do want to thank you so much for rocking with me. Thank you. Salute to all y'all in the chat. Y'all see Miss President for a little bit. y'all see Miss President? Miss President. Look at him. Look at that dog. Don't he look good? Anyway, I will see y'all in the next one. See y'all tomorrow. Until next time, guys. Hit that like, and also do what this says. It should be like down here. I can't point. Anyway, underneath Mr. President, there's a subscribe button. Make sure to hit that subscribe button. Thank you. Until next time, guys. Bye. Have a good day.